Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Lillian Coley, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I wanted to come on and get you guys updated. If you haven't heard it already, I got an email yesterday, I think somewhere in the evening, saying that our motion to amend in California was denied, and that our the complaint, if you will, was sounding like the other complaint and it couldn't be cured, and therefore the motion that the defendant wanted to do is granted. I was shocked, everybody. Nonetheless, after looking at the information, I saw there was only one thing that they couldn't get over, and that's called the anti slap. And I'm not going to go into the details, but apparently, when there is some other litigations in other places, some of your languages or some of the things you do is considered to be privilege. In other words, people can't get you across the state lines, if you will, for what you've done. There's some problems with that though, and this is why we're going to be doing a reconsideration. And like I told people, unfortunately, it's not over. I wish it was, but it's not. And there's other places where people are getting involved with this case because they want to see justice for Wanda. I just think it's getting a little bit, I won't say crazy, but a little bit crazy. But at the end of the day, yes, the California judge denied our request to do a tort claim for the damages caused by, we believe, the allegations we have about fraud and fraud in the court. So therefore, we just have to now do our reconsideration. But unfortunately, like I said, it's not over. I wish it was, because there's this case we're going to be doing, and then there's other stuff that's out there, and there are people trying to advocate for Wanda Satterwhite. So there is quite a few things happening. It is what it is, and I just want you guys to be. I want you to stay alert and not be concerned about all the riffraff. Now, some of the things that are happening, you guys that are smart out there, you know what's really going on. But at the end of the day, for somebody like myself, if God's called me to something for such a time as this, then you have to finish the work you started. So I know what God told me. But at the end of the day, for right now, we are going through the circumstance and situation. So I don't know if you guys have any questions. I did get one question that came, and they were asking about the anti-slap, and I did tell them about that, what I knew of it, and then they can also obviously go and read up on it, so forth and so on. It can work for you or against you depending on what's going on, but it has to apply to a litigation that is considered to be legal. So then you go from there. But at any rate, I don't see any questions here, but I just wanted you guys to know what was going on. And then we have, there is some stuff with the legislation. We have some great things that's happening right now as we speak. So the legislation part of the Pro Se Legal Abuse Act is still moving along. And we are kind of waiting for certain things to happen. There is some things in the, I want to say, in the government world, but in the government world, but because the government right now has been shut down, we have been slowed up with some of the stuff. So some of the things that are happening, it's all good and it's all okay. We don't have to worry about it. We ain't got to get stressed about it. If you're God's child, you know that God's going to take care of you. You got to know this. And when you understand that and know it, you walk in it. You can't sway and all that kind of stuff. You're going to have your good days and bad days, and that comes with the territory. But for the most part, you get it. That if God brought you this far, He's not going to leave you now. So you have a call, you have a purpose, and you have an assignment. And in doing so, you do that. So that's what we're doing for the new legislation. But yeah, everybody. So right now, we're going to do a reconsideration for California. There are other stuff going on with other people in other jurisdictions that want to do stuff. But like I said, Wanda Satterwhite. But at the end of the day, I believe all the causes and purposes and things that are happening is good. And it's good for us to continue to talk about what we need to talk about. But it's where there's no losses here. Because whenever God called you to do something, and even if it doesn't go exactly the way you want at the moment, if God told you something, it's gonna happen. So at the end of the day, God loves justice. We love justice, and we know justice will always prevail, especially when you have the law on your side. And whether people twist it or bend it or try to hide it, it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to change the true story. We do have something coming up. There's some other things happening, which I'm not going to deal with after tomorrow. This is going to be the last day. Some stuff you just going to cut the biblical cord and say, look, I'm good. I'm done with this. Don't call me and I won't call you. So there are some things coming up. And I think that as we look to what God has for us and we march in that direction, because you got to know what your direction is, then you'll get to your destiny. That's what we believe. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to come on quickly and talk about that. And I'm going to look and see. I'll come back with the rest of the questions and things that people have. There was a video I did prior to. Somebody was asking me about the jurisdiction thing for New Jersey. You guys are really smart out there. You kind of already know what's the situation with that, especially for those who may be in certain types of courts. But if a court don't have jurisdiction, don't have jurisdiction. That is part of our third circuit circumstance. We have some things in the third circuit right now. We're looking forward to that and moving that up the ladder so that the story gonna be told and the story gonna be out there and the story gonna be helping people and it's gonna work because that's what God designed it to do, to work in the community, to help empower people to not feel like their lives is not meaningful or don't have purpose, but they can live to live again to do what God has called them to do. So thank you, everybody. This is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. Be encouraged, be empowered, and don't worry. Pray. Just if you don't believe in the system, I get it. There's a lot of stuff with the system. You got to do what God calls you to do, just like I do. And I know God can move through the system in spite of what it looks like, because that's what He do. And He loves justice, like I said. All right, everybody. God bless. We look forward to talking with you soon. This is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. And God bless. And we'll talk, everybody.